There is a point in leadership when greater discipline stops being the answer. Not because discipline doesn't matter, but because you cannot consistently compensate for a poorly designed environment with personal effort. Consider your calendar. If every available space can be claimed by a meeting, protecting time for strategic thinking becomes an act of resistance. Consider communication. If email, text messages, Teams, Slack, and notifications all have immediate access to your attention, maintaining focus requires you to repeatedly overcome an environment designed for interruption. Consider decision making. If decisions that could be made elsewhere in the organization continue flowing upward to you, your cognitive load increases regardless of how efficiently you manage your time. Eventually, we have to ask a different question. Is this actually a discipline problem, or is this a design problem? That's an important distinction for executives because leadership performance doesn't occur in isolation. It occurs inside an environment. Your calendar is part of that environment. Your meeting culture is part of it. Your communication expectations are part of it. Your decision architecture is part of it. Even the expectations you've unintentionally taught people to have about your availability are part of it. And when those systems create friction, high performing leaders frequently compensate. We wake up earlier, we work later, respond faster, carry more, become more organized, try another productivity system. But becoming increasingly efficient at operating inside a system that continually depletes your capacity doesn't necessarily solve the underlying problem. Sometimes the higher leverage intervention is redesign. Instead of asking, how can I fit strategic thinking into my calendar? Ask, what would my calendar look like if strategic thinking were treated as an executive responsibility rather than leftover time? Instead of, how can I respond to everyone faster? Ask, who actually requires immediate access to me, under what circumstances, and through which channel? Instead of, how can I make all these decisions more efficiently? Ask, which of these decisions should require executive cognition in the first place? Those are design questions, and design questions change the conversation from personal endurance to organizational infrastructure. Here's something to try this week. Identify one recurring point of friction in the way you work, not 10, one. Perhaps it's a meeting, a recurring interruption, an approval, a communication expectation, a section of your calendar, a decision that continually comes back to you. Then ask 3 questions. Why does this currently work this way? Does it actually need to work this way? What would I redesign if I stopped assuming that it did? Then test one change. Because sustainable executive performance shouldn't require you to win a battle against your environment every day. Your environment should support the quality of leadership you're expected to provide. So, as you think about executive longevity this week, remember, don't ask discipline to repeatedly compensate for something that better design could solve. Protect your capacity, design for clarity, and create an environment that supports the way you want to lead.